Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. All right, heads up with this one. Bit of a trigger warning. I feel like for some, this message might stir up some heavy emotions like sadness or anger, but it does feel like it's healing. Whatever this is, like it's healing crisis kind of energy where it's like realizational energy, frustration energy, that kind of thing. So just heads up. But at the end of the day, I feel like this is a really helpful, hopeful, illuminating kind of a message. And I feel like whoever you are receiving this message because you have actually elevated in your energy. And I know that sounds really woo-woo, but I mean that in a really pragmatic way. I'm getting Danishta energy come through here, which is the height of Mars. And Mars is the planet that rules over the physical body. And when Mars is healthy, it is a really, really pure energy. And it kind of rules over that detoxification energy. And what I'm saying, and this is like very pragmatic, is, you know how like doctors and medical professionals are always on this internet trying to explain to people that you don't have to do these weird fancy detox things. Your body detoxes itself. Your body is what detoxes. There's something very pragmatic about this where you've kind of just tapped into a natural process. I think for some of you, you've been guided to cut certain things out of your diet or your lifestyle. For some, this may be like substances, but for others, it could just be maybe you're eating better or you're working out and you're actually like exercising like through sweat, like your sweat removes toxins from the body, in that. So that's what I'm saying. It feels like very pragmatic energy like that. But also there is an energetic component here because Mars is also a soldier and it follows a leader. It always follows a leader. And I feel like you could be following a better leader here. And I feel like that leader is spirit, because I always think of the Arjun story in the Bhagavad Gita but Arjun listens to Krishna, and Krishna is God, right? Krishna is spirit. And so I feel like you've been following the leader with spirit and it's yielding you some kind of result. And Mars, again, it's a very physical energy, very athletic energy. You might feel like you've been put through your paces here, but this is actually starting to elevate your energy and it is starting to shift and change things around you and it's starting to pay off. And I feel like that's what this message is meant to illuminate. Now, this message, though, there's a component where that's why I'm saying it might kick up emotions here, because it's meant to help illuminate certain situations and people from your past that have been trying to hide in your blind spot, that have been trying to hide as a friend or some kind of innocent energy. And they've maybe been trying to play on your empathy here in some kind of way so that you don't shake them off and that you don't see them for what they really are. This message is meant to illuminate that about past situations. Although I think for a lot of you, you already have your suspicions, but this is going to kind of drag that out in the open. And there's another component to this where it's like a heads up energy, because I feel like your energy is starting to elevate again. And it's like whenever your energy starts to elevate, and again, there's a pragmatic component to this. Your energy starts to elevate and then things start to kind of move for you on the physical. Whenever that happens, that's when these people kind of get drawn back in around you. And it might be specific people, like you might know their names and their phone numbers. It could be those specific people, or it's just this kind of person, because spirit is saying you're elevating out of this certain pattern. And this pattern has an energetic component to it, where your energy is kind of cycling around and around, where like your energy will start to cleanse, it'll start to detox, it'll start to promote. And then these negative people get around you and they pull you off of your path or get you involved in like more negative patterning. And then it sinks back down again. And it's like your energy, there's a pattern been playing out with that you've busted out of. I've heard it very matter of factly like that. You have busted out of, but that is linked up with a social patterning. So again, it has to do with the kinds of people that you are around or the kind of people that approach you at certain times. Like there's a timing component to this. And that's what I want to illuminate for you in this message that's coming through. Okay. So let's get into this. Now, what I'm seeing in my mind is you, actually. And this is a metaphor, so follow me with this. But I'm seeing you building an airplane, actually. It's not an airplane. It looks to me like a spaceship, but it's not going to space. It's like it's an aircraft of some kind of personal aircraft. And it looks to me like it fits like 3 to 5 people comfortably in the cockpit. So you're building this aircraft, and some of you are building it alone, but for others, this has taken you some time to build this aircraft. And during that, it's kind of giving hero's journey where you meet like helpful friends and allies. And so while you're building this aircraft, you may have actually attracted genuine friends. Maybe there's some scallywags here and Spirit's kind of illuminating the difference between these two, but you have, I think some of you, drawn in genuine friends. And these are people who are in their own builder energy. And it's giving kind of like, are you going my way kind of thing? And so you've teamed up with one person, or again, it's like small group energy here for some. And you guys are all equally contributing to this aircraft, and everybody is equally skilled and equally contributing and equally willing to learn. And so for some of you, you've built this with genuine friends, and all of you were kind of maybe left alone to build this, but there seems to be these energies that are actually skirking in the shadows, or at least one energy, and it's been watching you and you didn't know, and neither did your friends. Some of you built this alone. Okay. So, but your focus is on what it is that you are doing, because there's goal-oriented energy here. And the reason in the metaphor that you would be building this aircraft is because you want to get from here to there, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, you've got this goal, but you're actually like working towards it, and you're actually setting the groundwork, because to get from here to there, you needed some kind of vehicle to do that. And if it seems like maybe you want to go a far distance. And for some of you, this is literal, like you physically maybe do want to move, but you know you've got to save up money, and you know you've got to, there's like a ramp up energy. That's what building this craft is. So it's goal oriented from here to there. And so I'm seeing you, because a lot of you built this alone, but maybe there's been genuine people helping you or whatever. I'm seeing you kind of wrap up this process, and you're really excited to kind of take her for a spin. And as is the case when you're working on your goals, when you're just starting out, you're like, man, that's going to be so phenomenal, like when I finally reach my goal. But after you've put in the time and the effort, it feels less like that giant leap and more just like, yeah, I definitely deserve this. Like, this is definitely the next step that I should be taking. And I feel like that's the energy that you're in, because it has to do with the way that you see yourself. Like, you don't see yourself as spectacular. And a lot of you don't see yourself as having something that someone would try to parasite or steal out from under you, or want to attach themselves to, because you don't see yourself as being like shiny or whatever, but you do have something of like real value here. And but anyways, so I'm seeing you get in this cockpit, and maybe for some of you have genuine friends here, or you're a part of somebody else's like path doing this. And I'm seeing like this take off, and it's beautiful. I mean, this craft is really beautiful, and you're like just kind of taking off in your journey. Now that's when I see this person, this like clinger on kind of person, and they've got a rope, like, I shit you not, a rope, like just a regular rope. This is how I know this is not your energy, because everything that you've done is really smooth and it looks very professionally done. And this is just this rope, this like, you got it from the hardware store rope. And this person is like climbing onto that rope, and it feels like maybe there was some kind of reckless, impulsive, like, oh, I guess they're leaving now. Like, I better, tie myself to it kind of a thing. And so this person's climbing that rope, but they're holding on to the side of the craft. And I feel this person has done this before. This might be like lifetime, like multiple lifetimes. You just have had this clinger, this like stage 5 clinger, this hanger on, that has tried to elevate themselves by leeching on or attaching on to your energy and your elevation. They leave you to do all the work. They don't contribute, but also it's like they've watched you for a while, I kind of think. Or for some of you, they could have just stumbled upon you at the right moment, when you were finishing things up, but they haven't been building their own craft. They don't have their own goal. I think I wouldn't describe it as a goal with this person. I think they have something that they want, someplace they want to go. But they're just not willing to work for it or like learn or anything. And so I'm seeing this person, they want to pull themselves up onto this craft and kind of walk around on the wing and get your attention from the cockpit so that you feel bad for them. So that tells me this person wants to prey upon your empathy in some way so that you will let them in. And that's a metaphor too, so that you'll let them into the cockpit. And so they want to get you, and this is manufacturing a kind of friendship. And they want to do this by this like seemingly accidental energy, seemingly serendipitous energy. And that energy has been coming through a lot on the channel. And that is also associated with Danishta. Danishta can be like a very accident energy. It could be like a serious accident, actually. But it also can be some kind of divine providence energy. And that's what this person wants to prey upon. They want to make you think that, because whoever this person is, they were on the ground when you were on the ground and you weren't really interested in them. If you could have noticed them, but you didn't pay any mind. You didn't think about them. You didn't want to be with them. You didn't want to partner with them or anything. This person was fixated on you. This is a stalker. This is someone who is just fixated on you, just waiting for an opening, waiting for it's opportunistic energy. It's parasite. This is a delusional person, and that they're trying to build this delusion in you by, oh my gosh. And so they might like in this metaphor, oh, this was just an accident. I took a nap on the wing. And then no, this person intentionally climbed their ass up on your craft. They were hanging onto it and they had a plan. They had a strategy to try and look a certain way to make you seem like you were just in the right place at the right time with this person and that they needed your help because they want to prey upon your empathy. So when you let them into your cockpit and I'm seeing other people there, like your genuine friends, they want all of you to give them blankets and, oh my gosh, are you okay? And to look at them in this like soft energy. And that's how they want to start your relationship, because the beginning stages of a relationship are actually, very important in your brain. Like it forms the way that you see a person. So by being kind of pitifying themselves, they're coming across as the Page of Cups. Yeah, because actually when I'm asking this person what they want, because I'm still seeing them hanging off the wing, because I'm seeing what they want in their mind. It's like they want to climb up, they want to get in the cockpit. And I'm seeing this person like kind of sitting sad, like on the wing. They want you to notice them, like kind of sitting sad. And I'm asking why. And I kind of feel this flicker of romance, but they want to be seen as innocent. It's like, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? They want to be seen as that. And they can't be seen as this like sweet, romantic, oh, you just happened to notice me, because you didn't and you haven't been while they're on the ground. But they need, this isn't enough for this person to try and like approach you like, hey, I like you. No, they want you to think it's your idea. They want to seem like, oh, I just accidentally caught your eye. No, this has been like, this person's a nutter. And so they want you to make the approach, kind of a thing. And they want to be seen as this fair person. They don't want to be seen as somebody strategic and somebody manipulative and somebody who's fixated and somebody who is selfish and somebody who has a goal. That's who they are, though. So all of this is a big smoke and mirrors act. So like I said, they want you to let them in. They want you to see them as weak or needy. They want to prey upon your empathy and your kind of nurturing energy, because it gets you to see them in a certain light, a light that they are not at all. They're strategic, they are selfish, they're a leech, and they don't even, okay, so it could be that they're trying to do this to you. It also, for some of you, could be that they're trying to do this to your partner. Like if you have a partner, like your partner's the actual target, because they want to accidentally sleep with somebody like as a friend. And they want that to lead to a relationship, but they might also want to break up a relationship by doing that. And they want it to seem like it's an accident. But this is a person who, because I feel like if you got involved with this person, it would be when you were ungrounded. Because when your feet are on the ground, you're not interested in this person, but it also may have to do with like partying, spontaneous. They want to prey upon like impulsive energy. There could be substances involved, because when you're of a sober mind and you're seeing things clearly, you don't want this person. You're not even attracted to this person. And even after that, like some kind of accident, I don't think that you want this person. But they could want to break up a partnership here to get to either you, or if you have a partner here. But this also could be somebody that you are around, like one of your friends, like one of your best friends, somebody else in this like cockpit. And for some of you, I think you might be a passenger in somebody else's plane, but you're not a clinger. You're not a stage 5 clinger. You're somebody who is genuinely a friend. You're genuinely a soulmate. You're genuinely going, it's that like, hey, you going my way. You guys have had very direct, consensual conversations. You've contributed whatever, and so that's just something to be mindful of, is that somebody could do this to you, pretend to be needy, pretend to be a friend to you in order to get in the cockpit, because they have a target of, of your friends. That I feel like it's like whoever's driving this, or their partner. It's one of the two. So it's just something to be mindful of, but they're cloaking their energy by seeming very innocent or seeming very sweet. And they want to make it seem like, oh, this was just an accident. But they want that accident all of a sudden, like, oh, now I'm being seen in this certain light. They manufactured the whole thing. They strategized the whole thing. And when I'm asking them what they want, though, they don't necessarily want to take over. Like, they don't want that ship to be theirs. Do you know? Because they know whoever is the pilot, whether this is you or somebody else, it's their ship. They built it. They know how to drive it. They just want to convince whoever's driving it to drive it in the direction that they want. So this is somebody trying to pull you from your course, and possibly like this, trying to derail you in some way. And it's because of their like selfish energy, their strategic energy. But they want to do all of this under the guise of being a friend. And that's even if they're trying to break up a relationship to you and to this other person. Like, they want to seem like they're a friend because they're ruthless. This person is absolutely ruthless, and they can't be the fairest of all if they are ruthless, but they're doing this on purpose. They are. This person is absolutely delusional. And the thing is, they want to remain in denial and in a delusional state themselves. So they need you to be delusional about who they really are. They need you to believe this false lie. And if you believe it, then they're comfortable believing it themselves. They are comfortable forgetting all about all of the waiting, the planning, the fixating, the strategizing that they did to get on that plane to try and disrupt the way that they did. They want to be seen that way. And even as I'm saying this person's crying. You should not feel bad for this person. They are pathetic. Don't get me wrong. This person is absolutely pathetic. And if you are a grown adult, which you should be listening to this, do yourself a favor and find pathetic people deeply unattractive. Okay. Everybody goes through a hard time. That's not even if you find them to be physically attractive or something, it's dangerous actually to get involved with somebody like that. And if they need assistance, show them a hotline number, get them, there's so many, organizations, but do not get sucked into the victim, rescuer, persecutor dynamic. It's not attractive. And this person's trying to pull you from your path. So I feel like this is meant to illuminate this. Now, and I think for a lot of you, there's substances involved. It was like, I feel like I'm supposed to say this, like notice when you were at the club, like who have you formed relationships with under the influence of like, this feels like heavy alcohol. Like, I'm not saying that you had a problem with it, but it's like, this is an opportunistic energy. So you could have gotten lured somewhere by like a party, oh, this is a party and it's friendship and it's like lighthearted. And this was just an accidental serendip. No, it wasn't. Someone planned this. Someone strategized, or they had a plan in regards of this, because there is like an opportunistic element here, like, oh, okay, well, I'll go because, and that's when, and this person's, that's what this is. So they're very, very cunning. They're very strategic, and they want to be seen as blameless. They want to be seen as this Page of Cups energy. And even when you say like, look, this was a mistake, this person will be like, okay. And they'll be like, sorry. And they'll play the victim, but they won't admit that they strategized the whole thing and traumatized you and sabotaged your relationship, which is the real responsibility that this person needs to be taking. So they're in deep spiritual shit. Okay, so that leads me to what I feel like is going on now. So for some of you, this repeat pattern is gearing up to try and happen again. Now, don't be scared, because I feel like you have elevated your energy. You are ridding yourself of these kind of parasites, and you're doing it by following spirit. Like I said, with this Divination energy, which is that height of Mars. So some of you are called to, like, you're detoxing from alcohol. You're detoxing from some kind of substance that you've used regularly. Or even this could be something in your diet that you've just been called to like get rid of. You've also been following spirit. I just heard the song Maps. Following. So you've been following that. And so there's this person who has been weaponizing accident energy against you, or people, because this could be multiple people. Like I said, this is an energetic pattern, because I feel like there could be something energetic. I'm not trying to scare you. I believe like we're influenced. The physical world is influenced by the energetic world. That's just what I believe. So there could be something energetically, like with its eyes on you, that can come up through certain kinds of people that are either malevolent, like just deeply malevolent. This would be the kind, I am seeing a woman here, because I think for a lot of you, there's like alcohol and substances, but there could be, for some reason, I'm specifically getting a woman, and I don't know why, that doesn't drink, like is staunchly sober, but for some reason is always hanging out at the bar, or all of her friends are definitely not sober. Oh my gosh, I just felt like I wanted to throw up. That is a deeply cunning person. And the reason they hang out there, even though they don't drink, or they seem to not be interested in that, is because they like to prey upon people. They like to take advantage of people that are like, in a weakened state. It's predatory. It's giving predatory energy. I feel like this is a very self-absorbed energy as well. But for others of you, like that energy, that entity kind of thing, it can come up through people who are just malevolent, negative in their energy, selfish in their energy, unconscionable. They don't have a conscience. They don't have genuine empathy, actually. And that's funny, because I think this person tries to appear soft, or but they don't have genuine empathy. And it can also come up through people who like are using some kind of substance that then weakens your energy field, and then it can kind of like attach onto that, So, and this doesn't feel like, okay, I'm American, and like I personally think that a lot of Americans have more of like a binge drinking kind of culture, like associated with alcohol. I know in other countries that's not the case. Like there's more of a, you go out and you have a drink with dinner, and it starts like even with your family. Like I think you can drink when you're like 18 in other countries, and it's like it's less of like the binge thing. It's more, I'm not talking about that energy. This feels like under heavy alcohol use or something. And if you think back, especially if you're a person that doesn't drink very much or whatever, like, but when you were using something like that and it was just this fun, impulsive thing, did something bad happen to you? Or were you convinced to do something bad that would hurt somebody else under that energy? That's this kind of energy kind of moving through you. That's what they call alcohol spirits. It's just something to be aware of. Yeah. So like I said, I feel like this pattern is gearing up to happen again though, because again, there's this cycle where your energy starts to promote, it starts to rise up and you get in really good patterns and really good habits. And then something on the earthy realm starts to also like rise up. And this is very pragmatic. It's Knight of Pentacles energy. It's one foot in front of the other. This is very healthy and it's aligning you with your path. Now I feel like you've been aligned with your path here and I feel like you've got a lot of momentum because it seems to me that the energy, you've raised your vibrations, and it could mean that you have energetic support that you didn't in the past because you've successfully raised your vibrations up like higher. And I think this is because you're colluding with positive energy. And some of you have just made it absolutely known that your alliance is with high vibrational energies, with spirit, with God. And you've done something, I think, hard. I'm hearing like blood, sweat, and tears. So like you've done something hard in order to do that. And I feel like it involved like blood, sweat, and tears. And I don't mean that you hurt yourself like with the blood aspect, but like you could have been injured and then maybe that's what sparked some kind of big change in you, or you could have really cried a lot, or you sweat something out, like as you were processing something. It feels there was like something you really did make some gesture. It's more than a gesture, like where you aligned with spirit and you've been doing what you're told to do. And so you have some kind of spiritual support that you did not have in the past. And don't hurt yourself. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, right? I feel like you get what I'm saying. But at the very least, the energetic conditions have changed around you. So this is not going to play out. It's not going to have anything to grab onto. So that's what I'm seeing. That's where I'm seeing this person hanging off of this, this personal plane that you have. And I think they've done this before, either to other people or to you in past lifetimes. And so they've had no motivation to change and actually snap out of this absolutely bananas energy. But I'm seeing their hands slip. And they're just hanging on by one hand, and I'm seeing like the white in their fingers, like the fingers are really pushed up against the craft, but like they dropped their hand, and actually they're going to fall. They can feel that they're going to fall because their other hand is slipping, and for the first time, is what I'm getting. Like they've in a long time, I just heard for the first time they've removed their focus away from you and like from their plan, and they're looking down. And the reason they're looking down is because that's where they're about to be. So they need to understand what they're about to be dealing with, right? They're like, oh shit, like they have to pay attention. And I feel like that's what's going on here in the metaphor. They have to pay attention. And if they're not paying attention, that they're incredibly stupid and they will regret that because they're going to fall and they need to know what the landscape looks like down below them. So there's something here that's like pulled their focus. So now I'm actually seeing their other hand slip and now they've fallen. Now this is a metaphor because the height that you were at, this person would never have survived that fall. But I'm seeing them land on the roof of a building. And honestly, to me, it looks like Agrabah in Aladdin, the movie Aladdin, like that kind of style, like rooftop. And they're in like this, it's foreign, like it's entirely like foreign, and it's not where they were wanting to go. And I feel like that was this divine accident, that placed them exactly where spirit needs them to be in order to redirect themselves, become the builder, focus on themselves, stop trying to leech off of other people's energy, stop weaving a bunch of negativity in between people and pretending like they didn't, and pretending like it was a whoopsie that just, that they didn't manufacture it, that they're not an absolutely malevolent force working for absolutely malevolent energies, doing malevolent things that just, the only reason they're nice, this person's niceness comes with an agenda. The only reason they're nice is because it's a cloak. They don't want to get called out. They don't want to be yelled at. They don't want to be cast out of the pilot. This is somebody you should not, they want to prey upon your empathy, this person, in order to elevate themselves and to try and get you to drive them around in the plane that you built. And they also don't want you to have your partner. And they also don't want you to have your friends. They're taking from you. This person's trying to take from you. So don't be empathetic to somebody trying to take from you. And this is an example of being nice to this kind of energy. It's not true goodness because this is a malevolent force. And kicking them out and saying, having a hard boundary. I'm not saying to be cruel to this person, but just to like, no, just to be like, no, you didn't help build this. literally, you could even, I'm not seeing this happen because this is divine accident energy, but like, I think I'm meant to tell you this, be the person that even if it would slow you down, turn that plane back around and drop that person back off. Oh, what a divine accident. Yeah, you're not coming with us though. Oh, I'm happy to drop you off. Wow. Yeah, you're not coming with us. Be that person. This shouldn't work out. This person's plan needs to stop working. Okay. And it's going to. So anyways, there's this spirit is having this whoopsie, this divine accident. And that's helping you. And that's because you have very good karmas and you're exiting this cycle. And I feel like there's something about this person that like you broke a mold for this person. And it might have to do with the fact that you are elevated in some way, but you're also approachable or you're also like very nice. And that's what makes this person think they can get their hooks into you. And that's what I'm saying. There's a reason that you have to learn how to protect the things that you're building. And that's what you're learning. You need to learn how to have like firmer boundaries and beware the company you keep kind of a thing. And this kind of recognize like reckless, impulsive energy where you see it. That's what this person is that's what they hook into in you. And yeah, like if you're surrounded by true friends, you can have a reckless moment. You can have an impulsive moment and nothing bad will happen to you. That's not what occurred here. That's not what occurred with this person, because either this person hurt you under the guise of being your friend, and a true friend would have taken care of you. But they were trying to like gain or profit or push their way in and possibly break up a relationship here. Or yeah, that could have been a bad thing. Like maybe you didn't care so much because you were like, whatever, but then it ended up like breaking up either the potential for a healthy relationship or the genuine like soulmate relationship that person was meant to accompany you on your flight here. And they're number 2 to no one. So yeah, so this person like landed though in Agrabah, and they've got to figure out their way around that, because I think the reason I'm seeing that is because they wanted to be on this sleek aircraft. They wanted it easy. They wanted to do no work, and they wanted to attach themselves to you, be seen with you, be next to you in some way. And for some of these people, maybe they've built in another arena of their life, but they just, I don't know, they want to be attached to you for some reason. Yeah, this is, ugh. And it's not the same as having goals. This person has cravings is what they have. So they want to derail your genuine goals in order for them to go get their cravings. And it might be more substance for some of you here. But I'm just seeing like, this is the party plane. Like, let's just go over here, go over there. Like they want to derail a goal energy. But now they're dropped down in Agrabah, where I feel like they're going to have to, because I'm hearing Aladdin be like, I'm always scribing for food and ducking the guards. Like this person's going to have to work for what they get. And it might just be they get one loaf of bread, or I don't know, because for some there's like a poverty thing, because this person was greedy. And this is the best for everybody. This is genuine goodness. This is for the highest vibrational good of all beings, because this person doesn't belong where they're trying to weasel their way in. And it's so important that they are not able to do that. And also that they're seen as the absolute malevolent energy that they are. And they try to hide behind a Page of Cups energy. Ugh, I hate that. Yeah. So I feel like for some of you, this is illuminating past situations and past people, and it's making sure that you do not buy their innocent trick. This person is not innocent and they are not a friend. And I feel like, and I just heard, and by their fruits you shall know them. And the fruits of this was either trauma for you, because this person should have been a friend and they absolutely were not. They like took advantage of you in a low moment in some way that really hurt you. And that could be maybe schmeggerly, or maybe it has to do with money, or maybe it has to do with power, or like getting you fired or something, causing some kind of an ending. And that could be in a relationship. That could be a promotion that you were going to get. Something like blew up in your face, and it's because of this person. And this person doesn't have to be malevolent themselves. I think most of them are. At the very least, they're just very selfish and they're extremely weak. And having this person around brings bad things. And you're never going to rescue this person out of that, because they have to learn to do it themselves. This is like a lazy person. They refuse to do it themselves. They just want to leech on to what other people have. So keep an eye on that, because again, I feel like this is maybe trying to happen again. And it might come, like for some of you, you're not the pilot. I feel like for some of you, you are a genuine friend in the cockpit, and somebody might try to come up through you in order to access this person in the cockpit. But either way, I do feel like there's going to be some type of accidental energy that removes this person. I don't think it's just exposing this person. I think it's removing this person, but just, I don't know how this is going to work out for other people, but just be aware that somebody, I don't know, like, especially us being in the spiritual community, there's a lot said about serendipity. Not all serendipity is serendipity. Sometimes it's a stalker who is a predator, and you don't realize they've been stalking you. And so long as you don't realize it, they're just going to capitalize on that. So anyways, that's what I have for you. If that resonates, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.